In this video, we're going to learn how to do all our line tools for this line art task on page 15. So when we create this bowl, all we're doing is using our skills from our Illustrator Basics on using our pen tool, and we can use our color palette tool and arranging things. First things first, we need to place our image in there. So you need to go to the student share drive, go to VCD, year 10 VCD, year 10 computer task, and the bowl appears there. Save it to your particular drive. In order to place, go to the file menu, place, then we go to, for me I've got it in my downloads, click on bowl, place, and in Illustrator CC it allows us to either click once, or when I place it, it allows me to click and drag it out, and it's constrained to proportions. That's fine. Now we need to look at our document because it actually tells us a step-by-step process on how to do this. Step 3 is to actually lock our image, otherwise I can continue moving it. So I need to go to the object menu, lock, selection, and it's now locked. Zooming in, just to recap, Command plus, zooming out, Command minus. Let's zoom in a little bit, and we will use our pen tool. So when we're using our pen tool, like you saw in the previous video, let's click and drag a line out so it is quite a smooth line. And we want to move a portion away from it, so I can click and drag that over there so it keeps that contour. Move a fair way away so I can click and drag it. And I don't mind that if I'm clicking here, I don't mind that this area there isn't contoured yet, because by the time I click, hold down my mouse and drag it out, it fits it to that particular corner over there. It's the same thing. Over the left-hand side, click and drag. Now if you've got this fill, it wants to go from the open endpoint to other open endpoint. And if I've got a fill in there, I can't actually see my work. So I'm just going to hit this none when I've got fill, and it takes that out so I can keep going on with my artwork. So let's just keep going over there, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, and then make sure you close it off. Like I showed you in the previous video, if I have got an image like this, it looks as if it is closed. However, if I go to the outline mode, I can see that it's not closed. This becomes problematic later on in the future. So we have got our outline over there, or Illustrator refers to it as a stroke. Stroke simply means outline as well. And I'm going to continue drawing this shape until I have got a whole bunch of these layers. You can see that I've got this lime green layer, then I have got a red outline, I've got a darker green version of this, offset a little bit, then I've got this orange cone shape looking object, and then I've lastly got this little bit of detail over there. So I can copy this, edit, copy. If I paste it, it will paste it in the middle of my screen. No matter where my artboard is, if I paste it, always in the middle of my screen. I don't like that. I want to edit, copy, and then I want to paste it in place. So it looks like there's nothing that happened, but now I have two there. So if I paste it in place, I will then stretch this out and stretch this out just a fraction. It's not the best way of doing it, but this is just a fast way of doing it. I can then give this, I can then give it the lime green in there and then the dark green over there. So let's flip that around. Give this that lime green color, then give this the darker green over there. I am going to right click and then bring it forward because I pasted it in the back. With this, I'm going to double click and turn on a stroke, and I might just increase that a little bit. One thing I didn't do was the circles over there. So I'm just going to take off. In fact, I'm going to hide it. Hide that selection. And I'm going to hide this selection because I can see it later on. I'm going to get, well, this illustration has that particular hole over there. I'm going to create that hole over there. And then I can go object, show all, and it comes back. So now I can click on this and I can make that white. Now, activate my pen tool again. I'm going to click on there. I'm going to click and drag out over here. Click and drag out. Now it's really important. What we're doing right now is called contouring. We want to make sure that when we contour, we are getting as close as we can to it. Now this is taking up that space over there. Never mind, because we can always arrange it. You've seen that I can arrange and I can send this backward, arrange, send it backward. Make sure you remember your keyboard shortcut, and it keeps on going back. Now let's give it that orangey kind of color. Last thing I've got to do is just this area over here. I'm going to cheat a little bit and I'm going to use an ellipse. Well, actually it's the wrong perspective, so I'm not going to cheat. I'm just going to keep going on and contouring that over there and give it a darker orange base. Like I said before, we can right click, arrange, and I can send that backward. Keyboard shortcut, keep going back, and that's done. So now if I unlock all, that's going to unlock this. I can move that over and I've successfully created that shape over there. As an extension, let's give it a little bit of tone and depth and form. If I scroll to here, let's give it a bit of gradation to over here. Click on this. If I go to my gradient, if I simply click in there, it activates that. That's what I want. If I double click the slider, I've only got K, which is black, so 0% K is white, 100% K is black. I need to go here and change that to either RGB or CMYK. CMYK is for print, RGB is for screen. We've got that limey green dark over there. I can then double click on this slider, change that over there as well, and it's lighter over there. So let's go that. Now, I've got something in the middle. I can see that I've got white. So I'm going to click to add a point, double click on this now, and then I'm just going to give that white, and now I've got that over there. Now the gradient tool works like this, that if I just leave it like this, that's fine. If I go to this gradient tool, it shows that it's going from left to right. I can change the angle of this if I want, but for our purposes, left to right is perfect. So I can do the same thing with everything else. I'm going to take off that stroke. That's that kind of green over there. So let's just lighten that up a little bit. I'll click on this. Now we've got some darker areas there. Again, click on my gradient, activate this. Now it remembers what I've done before, so I actually need to change that. It's going to be an orange kind of color. So orange over there, a darker orange over there, and this time this is actually going to be quite a dark color over there. We've got another bit of color over there, and this is lighter. Now we have successfully created this. Now this is off to the side, and obviously it's a different illustration. We were using this bowl, which is the same bowl but not on the same angle, so ours looks a little bit different. So pen tool, gradient tool in this, pen tool, stroke, arranging, and colors. That's the end.